What's good, world? It's your boy Roche. See the message today. Want to talk about some relationship shit. Um, a lot of people going through relationship problems and want to know how to transition from one relationship to another, or want to figure out how to fix the current relationship they're in, or want to learn how to progress the relationship that they want to see happen with a person they may be talking to or entertaining. Um, Here's my deal on it. I'm gonna do something I think is pretty cool. Idea came to me, and just compare it to sports, and for women, just to make it more comparable, because I know you guys don't really follow sports in that way. I'll try to compare it at least to like businesses, or businesses that you guys often patron, spend your money with, but or patronize. So anyway, like I said, uh, so like so relationships. When you really sit back and think about it, especially when you compare it to sports, it's funny, right? The best, the people who are the best at what they do in sports hardly ever go through situations where they feel that they're not getting what they're worth, right? So, for instance, your superstars, your James Harden. So we talking about basketball, or if we talking about football, your your Saquon Barkley's, or your Russell Wilsons, and that shit. But basketball. Back to that, you got your LeBron James, you got James Harden, you got Kyrie, you got KD. The list goes on and on. But when it comes down to it, your superstars hardly ever go through a problem where they're not getting what they're worth, right? And if they are going through that problem, it is very easy for them to use the leverage that they have, because they have multiple options and opportunities, to then transition to a better situation for themselves, right? They get into a better situation for themselves. They use their leverage because they know their value, they know their worth. They use that leverage to get into a better situation for themselves. So, a quick breakdown of that. Who is in the past as James Harden, right? James Harden knew he wasn't going to be able to get the money that he wanted from back in from the OKC Thunder. They were prioritizing all these other people. They signed Serge Ibaka to a big deal, who turned out to be nowhere near a good idea, because if they would have signed James Harden back, they probably had like 3 or 4 championships between Russ and KD and James Harden. But because they didn't value James Harden enough, he said, okay, I'm going to go to a better opportunity. Even though this opportunity is pretty good, but they're not paying me what I know I'm worth, or they're not giving me the opportunity that I know I deserve, right? So he said, let me go to a space and a place where I can shine, where I will be valued, where I would be taken care of financially, probably emotionally, physically, you know what I mean? So he decided to tell them, no, I wasn't going to sign for the little amount of money you were offering. I'm actually going to go and take this direction. This is the direction I want to go in, right? So once he made that happen, it was pretty much all good from there. I mean, of course, he hasn't won any championships, but that's not the point. I mean, I guess championships are kind of the point in basketball, but what he had to do in order to put himself in a position to make more money and to be valued the way he's supposed to be valued is he had to find a better opportunity and use the leverage of his talents and his worth, and what he knew he was worth, to put himself in that position. So a lot of people who are in these relationships where they feel like they're not being valued, one, do you know your worth? Two, are you valuable? Are you someone who you know that once you leave out of that relationship, there is going to be a big market looking for you? And then two, are you entering, if you leave that relationship and you're seeking a better position, are you coming with a lot of baggage? Going back to the James Harden situation, there was no baggage. He was one of those players that didn't have any baggage attached to him, like a J.R. Smith or a Carmelo Anthony. There was no rumors about him not wanting to be a team player, or not wanting to deal with the franchise in the back, or being a hard player to deal with, or being a diva, or not being someone the organizations could talk to, so on and so forth. So are you coming out of a relationship with a lot of baggage? Yeah? No? And then three, if you are coming out a relationship with a lot of baggage, take some time off. Take some time off. Right? Take some time off. Right? And heal. Because once you're able to heal, the world will feel it. Not just your ex, and not just, people you're interested in. Everybody around you will feel that new energy, your new personality, because you're now no longer coming from a place of externalizing your wants, externalizing your worth, I should say, and your value based on who you're with or who's willing to be in your life, right? So once you heal, people will feel that energetically, and now you can assume the position of somebody who is valuable to a better situation for yourself. But if you come out of a situation, there's a lot of emotional baggage, there's a lot of heart damage to your heart, there's a lot of emotional trauma that you went through, then jumping from that relationship, out of that relationship into a new relationship, you're almost guaranteed to be putting yourself back into the same situation, right? Where you're going to be eventually devalued. And it's not even most of the time on the other person's fault. It's your own fault, because you didn't make sure you put yourself in a position to where you were happy with yourself, you loved yourself internally before you got back in a relationship. Yes, there should be people who love you. There should be somebody who can love you for who you are and the things that you've been through. And a lot of women say, hey, I want somebody to love me through everything and make me love my... No, nobody can make you love yourself. That is your own job. Don't put that on anybody else. That is your job to love yourself. Somebody can show you the way. But they can't make you do it, right? So when you're coming out of a relationship and you've been devalued, and that's led to a lot of trauma to yourself emotionally, and it's caused damage to your heart, and now your heart's a little broken, or maybe a big broken, then you know what I mean? When you're coming out of a relationship in that instance, now it is time for you to sit back, do that inner work, and heal. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Give yourself time and space to heal and grow. Because once you heal and grow, then you can come back into the situation and you know how valuable you are. So when anybody comes with any bullshit, once you know how valuable you are, there is no progression in that situation. Because it's like, hey, I know my value. I know how beautiful of a person I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know you can't find my vibe many places. So boom, once you hit that free agent market, or once you hit that market where you're open, and now you're looking to land a new organization to go play for, this is the reference, and now you're looking to find a new organization to go play for, everybody knows your value. You're going to be swept off the table quick. But for instance, if you hit that market and you're looking to sign with a team, but you have a lot of baggage with you, you're going to sit on the shelf for the longest, because nobody wants to sign you with all that baggage. Hey, you got too much baggage. You got emotional baggage. You got heart damage baggage. Shit, you probably got bill baggage. You got, you know what I'm saying, financial baggage. You get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your shit together before you even look outwardly for external validation, right? So you got to get yourself together in all those facets, emotionally, heart-wise, where you can actually be. You got to heal that heart, because if you're not open all the way with your heart entering into any relationship, you're going to ultimately cause it to fail, right? And that's it. And I don't like to do this, but someone I know who's very special to me, right? And she's Ken. She's Ken. And I got a message from God about her one time, and it was just like, look, you're not going to find the love that you want until you love yourself. She's always talking about, oh, I can't wait to get married because my husband's going to make me fall in love. No, he's not. He's not going to make you fall in love with yourself. Because guess what? Your husband can love himself and try to show you how to love yourself through loving you. But guess what? He can only lead you to the water. He can't make you drink it. Just like that old saying, I can lead a horse to water, I can't make it drink. It's the same thing. He can show you how to love yourself, and he can show you love, which will show you how to love yourself. It can't make you love yourself. And at the end of the day, it is nobody else's job to make you love yourself. So from afar, when you are coming out of a relationship and there's that emotional baggage attached to it, then you got to sit back and think. If I jump back into another relationship, how often is this damage that has been done to my heart going to pop up and sabotage what I have with this person? And if it's a good person, you don't want to miss and mess up that blessing that God is putting in your life, or the universe is putting in your life, right? Because let's put it like the relationships that we share, especially the most positive ones, are nothing but blessings, nothing short of blessings sent down from the universe, right? Because we asked for it. But if you ask for it too soon and you're not ready for it, prepared, you ask for something, you must be prepared for it, right? You must, like for me, musically, I'm asking God to lead me down my path so I can become the best R&B artist that ever walked the earth. The best, right? All right. So if I ask for something, I must prepare for it, right? So I got songs on tuck, like song on song on song on song on song. I am ready. Soon as what I'm saying, I am ready. And then other things I need to do as far as like shooting videos and stuff. But yeah, I'm ready for all of that. So at the end of the day, man, y'all just need to understand that, right? When it comes down to it, relationship-wise, emotional baggage, if you're asking for something to happen in your life, prepare for it, right? So if you're asking God for the love of your life, start doing the emotional work, to get rid of that baggage. Start doing that internal work. Meditate, pray, do shadow work. Make sure that you handle your baggage. Make sure that you find a way to put that baggage down so that you're not weighed down by it, and you're not weighing your relationship down by it when you are blessed with that opportunity. Because what is going to happen is God will bless you with it because you asked for it, and you probably are a good person, right? He will bless you with a great person, and then you will sabotage it. You will sabotage it. I did this earlier in my life. I couldn't tell you how many blessings God has brought into my life that I sabotaged, right? And I'm talking about from the opposite sex, women that God has blessed me with, and I sabotaged it, right? Because I wasn't emotionally ready for it. I hadn't dealt with all of my trauma, my childhood trauma. I hadn't dealt with my emotional baggage from a heartbreak I had went through in my early 20s. I hadn't dealt with a lot of things that were holding me back from actually fully engaging in the blessing that God was giving me, which is the woman that I was with most previously, right? So, until I was able to heal emotionally, I wasn't able to see how much of a blessing these things were. And then I wasn't able to see how, in what ways my emotional baggage was holding me back. So my one thing I would tell you is, don't get into another relationship until you have figured out your worth. You have found that you are worthy of something great, and you know that deep down and in your core, you know your value, you know your worth, and you know what to expect from someone who wants to be involved with you. Don't even entertain or think about getting in a relationship until you know you are the shit. Until you know you are the shit worthy of the greatest things that the world has to offer. Don't get into a relationship, right? Until you have, at least until you have dealt with your emotional baggage. Maybe you don't have to know you're the shit. Maybe that person can show you or tell you how much of the shit you are and show you that. But at least deal with that emotional baggage first, right? At least know a little bit of your worth. Like, you want to know that you're worthy of great things. Because if you don't think it, like the woman I was telling you about, who used to always tell me those things about wanting love, but she didn't love herself. She didn't think she was worthy of it, right? She would go on dates with men that she really liked, and the men really, really liked her. Like, were really, and they could see them her, they could see themselves marrying her. But she would be out at dinner and see another woman walk past and be like, "So why is he sitting down with me and not going after her?" Like, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. That emotional baggage and that childhood trauma. Deal with that stuff first. Stop running from it. It is time, because if you want those blessings, you need to prepare yourself for them. You need to prepare yourself for them. And I'm doing all this pointing because I'm talking to myself at the same time. Prepare yourself for these blessings that you're asking for. And because if you don't, you're only going to waste them. They're going to be wasted. They're going to be wasted. You're going to sabotage them somehow. So mentally, physically, emotionally, prepare yourself for the blessings that you are asking for. If you're asking for that eternal love, that shit that don't go away, that shit that never fades, then you prepare yourself for it. Get rid of that emotional baggage. Get rid of those connections to other people in the past. Stop fucking with your ex when you know he ain't shit. Right? I mean, I'm not saying your ex could be the one, right? But if your ex ain't shit and you know he ain't shit and he wasn't valuing you and he ain't making no changes, you know what I mean? And y'all are both in a position where you're no longer talking, or not talking daily, and you guys are not working towards anything. Get rid of that. You got to create a pathway. You got to create a pathway for the things that you're praying for to open up. So if you're still energetically entertaining this person, that energy that could be put on the blessing that you're asking for is now blocked or used up. It's used up on this person who's no longer, who's one, not even attempting to make the changes that you need in order to be loved and valued, but who doesn't really care to make changes. They don't really care to, because they don't value you and because you don't value yourself. But if it's an ex that you had to take a break, or they took a break from you, and because they could see you weren't emotionally healed, and the baggage was causing too much trauma in the relationship, then do the work. You know what I mean? It's fine if you want to go back to an ex who really loves you and who really cares for you and who is really there for you, but you're just not ready for that blessing that God has prepared for you. So you guys are just waiting, doing work with each other or working on yourselves while you're, staying in contact with each other, right? You're working on yourself so that way you can move and progress things back together when, you move past that trauma. It is not anybody else's job to heal you. And when you're in a relationship, you just can't do the healing. It's just you're putting too much energy on an external thing. You're giving that person your energy. You're giving that person like 50% of your energy. If you think about it, it's 50. Like, of course, people say I give them 100%, but let's be honest. You're still your own person. If you're giving somebody else 100% of you, then you have no percentage for yourself and your passions and the things that you want to do in this world. And that's where resentment comes from. So never give anyone 100%, but the 50, you give them 50%, they give you 50%. Now you guys are 100 together, right? But you're still able to be yourself, pursue your own passions, do your own things. But back to the point, the overall point of this video is a lot of you guys are having trouble with relationships and wanting to be in a relationship, and that is healthy for you. The very first thing you need to do is love yourself. So if you're in a relationship right now, but you know deep down you're not fully valuing yourself, and you don't fully know your worth, and you're accepting less than what you deserve as far as from how that person is treating you, right? Then that's when you know it's time to, one, take a step back, pause it if you feel like it's the right relationship for you, and either you're not doing what you need to do on an emotional level to solve traumas that are causing hiccups and causing you to self-sabotage your relationship. If it's, you know what I mean, you got to pause it and you got to work on yourself. You got to do the emotional work on yourself, because all you're going to do is cause yourself to lose out on that blessing, right? So stop asking for stuff you're not prepared for. If you're not emotionally prepared for it, physically, financially prepared for it, stop asking for it, right? Or ask for it, then prepare for it, okay? So same thing. Get in those relationships. Get out of those relationships where you're not valued, and get out of those relationships where you're causing yourself to sabotage a good thing. Put a pause on it. If it's a good thing and you know it's a good thing, but you can see all the trauma you've been through with past relationships is causing problems, put a pause on it. Go back to the drawing board. Sit down. Spend some time with yourself. Meditate. Do the shadow work and learn. So that way, when you do, maybe you go sign with the same team. You know, the same person. Maybe you go back and get in a relationship with the same person because it was a good thing, but you had to get rid of that baggage before you continued that relationship, right? So just get rid of the baggage, right? That's what I would say for anybody. And if you're being devalued, get rid of that, and then get rid of the baggage from being devalued, and then hit the open market. You see what I'm saying? And guess what? Because you know your value, everybody else is going to know your value. And then that's when you get in, the superstar contracts. Come on, nobody wants to be a role player. But even if you are a role player, role players are role players because a couple of things. They're not putting in the work. They're not, and some of them are just not as talented. But you got to think about it. Most of them get to the league and then they relax. They're not putting in the work. So they're not going to be valued as high as a superstar. If you want to be a superstar, put in that work. And that the work is emotionally solving your emotional baggage, solving that pain, that trauma to your heart, solving your childhood trauma. So that way when you enter the market on a daily basis, call those the games, every game, when people see you living your life and they see you doing things that is bringing prosperity and abundance into your life, now they know your value, so they can't approach you with anything weak. They approach you with some weak shit, there's a million other options out there that are willing to pay you what you're worth, right? Or give you what you deserve. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that, man. So I guess the topic of the video is going to be how to in a relationship, how to receive your worth, how to receive what you deem you're worthy of, right? How to make sure you're being valued properly, right? So anyway, but yeah, man, it's your boy Roche, Spiritual Roche. Follow me on IG. Follow me on. You can follow I got 2 pages on IG. I got my spiritual page. It's at Spiritual Roche. It's SPIRITUALREAUXSHAI, right? And then I got my music page as well, which is REAUXSHAI. But anyway, man, value yourself. That's it. Once you value yourself, everybody else will. They have no other choice. Or they can't even get an opportunity. They don't value you, they can't even talk to you. And that's it. That's all it's about. Once you value yourself, you no longer self-sabotage good situations that you prayed for. And 2, you no longer put yourself in predicaments with people who do not value you or who do not care to value you and who only hurt you. All right? So that's it. That's all I have for today. I love you all, man. It's your boy Roche checking out. Nature Boy in it big. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go have a blessed day. And I'll be back on another day with another message. If you haven't, go check out my Chadwick Boseman video I just did. Shit was amazing. Breakdown on the whole situation. Anyway, like I said, I'm checking out, man. I hope y'all have a beautiful and blessed day. Yeah.